The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's about town, Deb.
And welcome to this week's episode of City Talk. And I'm About Town Deb, your host. We have a new setup here, so excuse me if there's a few glitches. I'm excited to have Kim Surratt back. It's been way too long. She's not only our co-host and maybe pretty much the main host today, she is also one of our sponsors with Surratt Law Practice. We also want to thank Kirk Allure with GratisGives Processing as a sponsor as well. And we're going to have Don Butterfield, the COO of Reno Behavioral Healthcare Hospital, who is, you can see him, but I think he might, are you in your car? I don't know. I guess you go anywhere you got to be when you want to make things happen. So we're happy to have Don with us as well. And around 4:30, so hang tight, we are going to have Emma White, and she is the founder of Life is Worth Living. And since today is Be Happy, we want you to be happy day. And you know what? Sometimes we're all like not as perky as we want to be, and we can't all be happy every day. But today is a day we want to celebrate our community, and we're happy to have Don on set as well as Emma, because Don is doing great things with his team at Reno Behavioral Center. So and we also want to give a shout out to Christian behind the scenes, phoenixmedia.us, and also the theme song, Dee James. We want to thank him for that. So Kim, where have you been? What the heck?
I'm at the legislature. It's that time of year, that time of season for me. But although when I say I'm at the legislature, you know that's by Zoom, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Totally.
My life's a little different this year with lobbying stuff. Unique.
Well, it's got to be. I can't even imagine what it's like with you guys all zooming in, but you're still able to make a difference.
Well, we're still making a difference. We're still making things happen, but it's just this continuous, nonstop technical issues thing where somebody can't hear and somebody got cut off and some legislators trying to get in and the witnesses aren't there to testify. They're not really witnesses at legislature. That was a lawyer move. But yeah, it's just, it's chaos. And hopefully it's over soon, right?
Well, I hope so.
So I'm excited. Yeah.
Wait, you got it? You got your first?
Yeah.
And your second?
Choice lawyers, there's a lot of people who would disagree with that, but they want us back in court. And they want us like the legislature.
But have you had both?
I had one. So my second one will be March 15th.
Okay, because
witness, nothing. It was great.
Yeah. I had mine with Miss Jazzy Georgia, and we get this, and I know Don, if he's listening, I know he's had both of his, but we got our second one March 9th. So the first one was easy peasy. It was amazing. So I'm hoping the second one's going to be just as amazing. But I know that this topic is, I know it's the happy part of it is we want people to be happy day, but I know it doesn't always work that way.
Well,
so
it has a springboard to talk about the other side, which is we're not happy, right?
Yeah. So we're going to go into that. Don, can you hear us? Can Don hear us? I don't know if he could hear us. So in the meantime, though, Kim, is there with being in the legislature working, is there something that you're working on right now that you would like to share about until we can get Don back, or if he's there?
Yeah, there's a lot. I always monitor all the family law stuff that's going on at the legislature. I'm president of the Nevada Justice Association, so we've got proactive bills for that. But my own personal bill, I have an adoption bill that's
okay.
Legislature that's got several changes in it, but one of the main things is to make it where we can have more than two parents adopt. So if we have step parents, we can add them in as parents through the adoption process instead of leaving them off.
Well, that's nice. That's important.
It is
Okay,
important.
so hopefully, we're still waiting on. There we go. Welcome, Dawn.
Leave it to Don. Come on.
Can we hear you? Say something, Mr. Don.
No,
I heard him for a moment.
I saw his lips moving.
His lips are moving.
So this is what it's like at the legislature. This
Is it like that too?
Like
I know. But you know what? We have 2 minutes before we go to break. So I know by the time we get back, we'll have, unless I can hear him now. Can't hear him yet. We will keep working on that. But when we do come back, I'm going to hand over the wheel to you, because you did say you are working. There's some other important issues that they're working on in the legislature that does affect the mental health. So we're going to come back and chat about that with Dawn. And I know that their hospital is doing a lot to make a difference. And you personally love them. So I'm excited.
I love this topic. And, it's in the year of COVID, we need mental health awareness more than ever. So
I totally agree. So I think with that said, we're going to go out for break, and that'll give us a little bit more time when we come back. And when we do come back, I'm going to bring us in, Kim, but then I want you to get right to Dawn, and then hopefully we'll be able to hear him by then. That's what happens, as you said. This is all part of.
We can just have Dawn's face on there. I can fill in the words.
Okay. You can read lips. Well, hopefully. I think he signed out. Is going to sign back in, so hopefully it'll work. But we want you to chime in if you have any questions. We want you to like our Facebook pages. We're here to inform and to help you. So we're going to take a quick break. It's About Town Deb with Kim and Surratt. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And at 09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved one, and you'd make a plan. It's true.
Oh my
I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message
and then
brought
she'll
to you
bring
by
Dawn
Women
into
of America and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate up to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at GratisGives.com.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the second segment of City Talk. Do we have Don with us? Oh, he's checking the camera. He's going to try it again. So you know what, Kim?
Right.
We're going to go right to you, and I'm just going to let you take us into this very important topic.
No problem. So as we were talking about, it is, want to make you happy day, but we want to talk about those that are struggling to be happy. So we're talking about suicide prevention. And I know it's heavy, and Debbie, you say I get the heavy topics, and I do, because the way I look at the world is the heavy topics are what we need to help people with, so we can bring them up to the Debbie McCarthy way of being happy, right? And cheery and bouncy. And there's so many people that are struggling. This has been a really difficult year for a lot of people. And it's been on the news. Just yesterday, there was a huge news program on suicide and teenage suicide over the past year with COVID. And I know Don had some stats for us saying that just Reno Behavioral Healthcare Hospital saw a 50% increase in youth seeking inpatient mental health treatment in 2020 compared to 2019. That's an astronomical number. And this topic is really, it's a sensitive topic for me, because in 2014, I lost my best friend to suicide. And at that time, I struggled to take her around town to get services, to get help. And at that time, we did not have Reno Behavioral Healthcare Hospital available to us. They're a newer hospital in Reno. And they really, immediately, unfortunately, we're up to capacity and full because that's how badly we needed the services in Reno. And, she wasn't a youth. But when you struggle as an adult, adults have fully formed frontal lobes and we're mature, right? In theory, we should be able to handle our problems, better than the average child. Children don't have that. And so the past year, it's been crazy. It's been frustrating. It's been sad for a lot of people. And I don't think we quite know the damages. Somebody was saying, on the news yesterday, they were talking about what will this generation see 10 years down the road? What will it look like? And I can tell you, and Debbie knows, I've got a 10-year-old or 12-year-old. My goodness, he's 12 now. I was thinking about a couple of years ago when he dealt with the suicide stuff, but he's happy. He's a good kid, right, Debbie?
Oh, he is. He's amazing.
Yeah. He's super mature. He's a great kid. And, but with COVID, he's been at school so little, and he started middle school this year. And, starting in a brand new school that combined a bunch of schools. He knew nobody. He didn't know any of the kids whatsoever. And if you're not at school, you can't meet children. And we live in Washoe Valley. So we're in a rural area with very little access. There aren't kids playing on our street. We're not that kind of a subdivision. There aren't a lot of kids around. And it's been hard, Debbie. It's been so difficult, and he has struggled so much. I don't think he's at the level of talking about suicide or any of those kind of concerns, but his mental health is first and foremost for us, because if you can't meet friends and you don't have friends to play with, that's a child's world, right? Don, do we have you? We still have Don's face.
I can hear you. Can you hear?
Not yet. Oh, I think we just heard him. Can
I
you
can
say
hear
that
you. I don't know
again?
if you can hear me.
We can hear you now.
Hello,
Yes.
everybody. Can you hear me?
Hi. We are so happy you're here, Don. This, as we, we just appreciate you and your team and your staff and everything you guys are doing every day, especially for the youth, not just the adults. So thank you, Don. And I'm going to let Kim take it back. I know she was getting emotional, and we're just grateful, Kim, for sharing with us. So I'll let you take it back, and then you can bring it into Don.
So Don, we were just talking about my son struggling this year, having no friends because he's at a brand new school when he's at school, which has been very, very little that he's been there. And I gave your first statistic about a 50% increase in youth seeking inpatient mental health from 2019 to 2020 already. But can you introduce us a little bit to your hospital? I was just saying, when my friend committed suicide in 2014, we didn't have your hospital as an option. And I've toured your hospital, and I think it's amazing. But if you could give us a little more about Reno Behavioral Healthcare.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we are relatively new to this community. We just opened our doors in 2018 and specialize in mental health and addiction treatment for patients of all ages on both an inpatient and outpatient basis.
So Don, like I said, I gave that 50% increase. That's dramatic. I mean, I know you're still growing and you're newer to the community. So is it COVID, or is it that you're new and just increasing your patients?
Well, it's probably a little bit of our actual growth, since we are no doubt that COVID has had a dramatic impact on families, adults, but in particular kids, especially without all the resources commonly and located within their schools. We know that it's really hit youth hard. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my experience with my son. It's just been absolutely devastating as a parent to watch, because I also don't know how to fix it, because I can't get him out of the social isolation, right? Mental health care is really the key here, and it's important. Because I can't just create friends or create the school contact that he would normally have. So tell me more about what services, what is that you have.
Well, the first thing that we offer and that we encourage anybody who thinks that they might have a child who is struggling, we offer free and confidential assessments 24/7. And we have a call staff, and we can provide assessment, and we can determine the best course of care. And even the best course of care will always refer somebody to a community that might specialize in what they need. So we kind of serve as a triage line in that regard. But beyond that, we offer inpatient. Go right ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so for parents listening and are concerned, you said it's 24-hour, right? I think the majority of the public just doesn't know what it's like to walk into your hospital and seek that help. You say it's confidential. Tell us a little more about the process.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have never seen what a modern behavioral health hospital looks like, and unfortunately, there's a lot of associated mental health. With that in mind, our facility was designed to be very therapeutic. We didn't want it to feel institutional for the family. We've been very who we've brought on board our team, but we want to raise the standard of care that's available in the. So in terms of the services that we provide, we can provide the full array for youth. And it's not, and unfortunately, that's what people think of when they think of hospitals. Behavioral health has come a long way since that time, and facility, and we're proud of the staff and the caliber of the service that we provide.
So, Don, tell me about the Jason Foundation. What is that?
Well, the Jason Foundation is a national nonprofit and specializes in suicide prevention. And we are the Northern Nevada affiliate for the Jason Foundation. And they have a number of resources online for parents, as teachers, and even for youth and students on how to help address what they call the silent epidemic. And that is suicide. And so with that, you can get more information at thejasonfoundation.com.
Awesome. I know like Washoe County School District has been sending out a lot more information for parents, also with resources and information on suicide prevention to help these families. Now, I want to go back to use of your hospital though, because I'll tell people, he's right. It's a therapeutic setting with plants and warm paint colors and the things you want. It's not white walls and white padded walls, right? It's not that. And so if a parent is concerned about their child, how do they get a hold of Reno Behavioral Health in order to get help?
They should start by calling, and that number is 75393-220. And then if anybody is interested in more information about our hospital, they can find us online at renobehavioral.com.
Great. And for those of us that don't know where your hospital is even located, where is it in Reno?
So with Reno, South Virginia, and there is a Target there, and that most people are aware of, and we're located right behind. We're at 6940 Sierra Center Parkway.
I always say you're down the road from NB Energy too, because a lot of people know where that is, right? All right. So Debbie, I think we're ready for another break.
Right.
I think we'll probably have Emma with us, hopefully.
Yes, when we come back, we will have Emma. So Don, you're welcome to stay because I think you know Emma, and it might be nice to have a friendly face on here for her as well if you have time. Okie doke.
That sounds good too.
Okay, we'll be right back. Stay tuned for City Talk.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. Don't tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate a buck to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at GratisGives.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Phoenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, your host, and Kim Surratt in the blue, my co-host. Happy to have her back. She's been busy with the legislation. Did I say that? Legislation?
With the legislature.
Legislature. She's been really busy, but this is a very important topic for Kim. And no matter how many hours she's been working, she is here, and I appreciate her for that. And Dawn, we are grateful to have Dawn Butterfield with us as well, the COO of Reno Behavioral Hospital. He also knows Emma, and we want to welcome in Emma White. Emma, the founder of Life is Worth Living. You also are an author. You've gone through a lot, and you are here to let other youth know and other people know that life is worth living and it's okay. So we're so grateful that you're taking the time. We know you're crazy busy, but this is important to you as well. So Kim, I'm going to send it back over to you, and I'm going to let you continue on with the interviews.
Absolutely. Hi, Emma. Welcome.
Hi.
We're super excited to have you. Now, real quick, just tell us about Life is Worth Living.
So the website is called lifeisworthit.org, and essentially it is everything that I wanted as a teen struggling with suicidal depression. It was difficult to find resources or to know what the answers were to my questions or to find anybody to relate to. So now that I've come out the other side of that, I have created lifeisworthit.org that also has my self-help book for teens struggling, just to find, resources and answers to questions that they might have, and really just help people and help teens.
Now, Emma, your website's good for parents too, right? Give them the assistance they need for their teens.
Yes, absolutely. And there's plenty of videos and readings for parents as well to kind of get in the mind of a teen. And they probably know their teen pretty well, but sometimes, teens are good at hiding their emotions or hiding things that they're going through. So there's some warning signs to look out for, and definitely helpful for parents too.
So give us a little bit of that, because I'm a parent of a 12-year-old. You weren't on when we were talking about his struggles over the past year with COVID. He started middle school, brand new school, didn't know anybody, and has really struggled with not having friends and difficulties. But, what's your advice? What are some of those warning signs? Because, we look at this program as being something we want to get the help out there. We want them to go to your website for the detailed info, but help us get some context to it.
Yeah, obviously we're looking at COVID, which has really impacted many teens, maybe more so than it would have in the past. But it's important to note that even before the pandemic, we still saw these huge increases in numbers in teen suicide and teen depression. And a lot of that can be related to social media and pressures that teens feel, whether it's through TV or celebrities or influencers, social media platforms are really influencing our teens to feel like they aren't enough, to feel like they don't have confidence, comparing themselves. And then obviously you throw in a pandemic and you have kids that aren't able to see their friends or maybe even make new friends like your son. So I think the biggest thing I would say is to remind the teens that this is just a page in your life. It's not the full book. It's not even the full chapter, but it can be difficult, especially when you're struggling to meet people during a pandemic. So I would say some of the warning signs, we do have to be careful because teens do, they have emotions that fluctuate, they go back and forth. Teens are moody. I was definitely a moody teenager. I wouldn't say that automatically pointed to suicide or depression, but I would definitely say that the warning signs would be withdrawing from family activities or friends, or I know we haven't had a lot of sports, saying things like they don't care anymore what happens to them, or withdrawing from their friends. So definitely those are some warning signs. But as a parent, it is hard to know. So opening that dialogue and
I'm going to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
It's super hard. And I'll tell you, as a parent, I've really struggled with this whole thinking, well, the pandemic will be over at any point now, right? So like in March, we were thinking May, June, and I just kept thinking, well, once it goes away, at some point.
Right.
But then parents second guess themselves. They sit around going, well, I think they're okay, but there can be some serious damage to not taking some of this serious.
Right. And I think, I'm not a parent, but I obviously have a lot of experience talking with parents who have either had a child that has committed suicide or attempted. And I think a lot of parents are afraid to maybe ask those questions. I don't know if maybe they're afraid to hurt their kids' feelings, but asking those questions is really going to provide the insight that you need. And maybe it's not suicide in general, but maybe it's saying, hey, instead of, giving me the glazed over, I'm fine, I'm okay, let's really talk about what's going on in your life and what do you need help with or what do you need advice on, and establishing that relationship where your teens feel comfortable going and talking to you, not as a parent, but maybe as a friend or a counselor.
It's so hard to get teenagers to talk. They really are a struggle, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. It's you sit around and I talk to parents all the time because I do family law, so we're talking to them about divorce and about talking to their kids about that topic, which of course leads to additional mental health issues and concerns. But trying to get a teenager to talk is sometimes it's pulling teeth. Right?
Most definitely.
So tell me more, what resources do you recommend? What should parents go to if they have concerns?
Well, we have a lot of great resources in Reno. Obviously, Reno Behavioral Health is a great one. And I know that they not only have programs, but they have small groups or counseling sessions that you can go. Obviously, Dawn talked about that a little bit before. We have some other great resources in Reno, as well as some national resources that break down based on states. So on lifeisworthit.org, you'll find a list of national resources. If you go onto those lists, you can actually put in your zip code, and it will bring up a bunch of lists of what you can find in your area. We've got Children's Cabinet, which is really awesome, and they have a lot of programs and self-help stuff for parents and teens. A lot of our hospitals do great work, so I would suggest going on there. NAMI is another one that provides a lot of help. So we do have a lot of resources. It's just about knowing where they are and what they offer.
Now, you have a personal story that brought you down this road, right?
Yes.
What do you tell people about that?
I'm very open about it. I struggled when I was 15. I developed depression and anxiety due to bullying at school, and I just didn't really know how to handle it. I had never dealt with not only in-person bullying, but dealing with social media, which was so different and so new when I was going through high school. I don't think anybody intended for it to have the negative consequences that it has. And so just feeling that pressure of imperfection and feeling uncomfortable going and talking to my parents, maybe feeling like I would be disappointing them, or, maybe they had too much to worry about. And so in the 4-month span of kind of suppressing my emotions and what I was going through, I developed depression. And thankfully, my suicide attempt did not work, and I'm here, and I'm so thankful and grateful for that. But I'm not alone. There are so many teens that think about it or attempt it, specifically because we just don't really know what to do. We talk about physical illness all the time, and I think if anybody gets, strep throat or sore throat, they automatically know where to go or what to do. It's not the same with our mental health, and we're working really hard to change that.
We are. We were talking earlier in the show, or Debbie and I were talking about what was going on at the legislature, and Dawn, I'm sure you're pleased. I mean, there's been a lot of mental health bills. I don't know that they're the be-all, end-all solution yet for Nevada, but hopefully people are starting to be focused on it. Because unfortunately, I think things like our school shootings is what causes people to finally think about it. Dawn?
Yeah, it seems like more people are starting to speak up, and more people are starting to ask for mental health, which is exactly what we need. Also wanted to say hi to Emma.
Hi, Dawn.
I had Emma speak about a year and a half ago. It's a very powerful story. And so it's great to see what you're doing, Emma. It's wonderful work and much needed.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
It's a relief for me to know that somebody's really kind of focusing on teenagers and really thinking about the teen perspective of it. I think a lot of resources in our entire world on every subject is always focused on from an adult perspective, right? And not necessarily from a child's perspective or teens. Teens like to be called teens, not children.
Yeah.
The things I'm learning as a parent of a 12-year-old, I know I need to use certain vocabulary and behave a certain way as his mother, right? So tell me, like that speech that Dawn was just talking about, is there somewhere we can watch that and see it?
I don't believe that there was a video at that, but I have been fortunate enough to have been in a lot of virtual events over the last year. We can thank the pandemic for pushing us to virtual. So if you go to lifeisworthit.org/events, you will find some videos of some speeches and events that I've been a part of. And I did want to leave you guys with just an exciting announcement that on the 14th, I will be hosting my first ever in-person teen confidence workshop. It's really exciting. We're going to talk about all the things that teens struggle with, how they can find their purpose and self-love, so that things like suicide don't seem so much of an option. So I'm really excited about that. You'll find that on the website as well if you have a teen that you would like to enroll in.
Wonderful. Thank you. Debbie, we're ready for another break already.
We are ready for a break. Now, Emma, if you'd like to stay around and chat a little bit more, you're more than welcome to. We'd love to have you. Dawn, the same for you as well. We're going to take our final break, and stay tuned. It's About Town Deb, City Talk, Kim Surratt.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
Okay, what are you wearing right now? Nothing. That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just slip the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But
2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to the final segment. It goes so fast of City Talk. I am your host, Debbie McCarthy. Kim Surratt, co-host. Thank you again, Kim. I love that and at the beginning of the show, Kim said this. I love the perky, happy stuff. Yes, I do. I struggle with the serious topics. I do. I struggle with them. And that's why I love having Kim to be able to come on because it's important. And I wish I was better at it, but we all have our expertise. So I feel like if you surround yourself with people who can help you lift everybody else up, why not? So I'm grateful for Kim and Emma. I've heard so much about you and I'm so excited that you're here. And Dawn, I don't know what we would do without you. You are always here for us. So before we go back, I just wanted to make sure that all of you knew how much I appreciate each and every one of you. And Emma, we did mention you also have a book, so I want to make sure that you can get that out. But you had written something that I looked up, and I love this phrase. It's not okay, but it will be. I think that's really profound, and it's very heartwarming and touching, and it's so true. And I just want to thank you for putting that out there because everybody's like, it's okay. Well, no, it's not okay. It's okay to not be okay. So I didn't want to forget because that really, of everything I read, that really hit home. And I think it will hit home for a lot of people. So anyway, I wanted to say that. And I know there's many more top things we want to cover before we go. So Kim, do you want to take it over and go over some of the...
Just real quick, I know Don mentioned that he can reiterate the warning signs, and I think that's important. I think, we can talk about suicide and people can gloss over it, but warning signs are what might cue somebody in to pay more attention, to go to Emma's website or do the research they need to help their child or help themselves. So Don, can you go over that real quick for us?
I'd love to reiterate briefly. This is according to the Jason Foundation, and their research indicates that 4 out of 5 and they are some is obviously, but also anger, increased ability, lack of interest in the things I used to enjoy doing. I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
It's okay. I just want to information's getting out there. So
Yeah.
oh, and we have a delay. So
sudden increase or decrease in app.
Internet.
Okay. Yeah, so internet. So I would say that go to, and I'm sure you've got the warning signs on your website also, and the Jason Foundation website. I encourage parents, I mean, even if you just feel like, oh, maybe they're just being hormonal teenagers, go take a look at the warning signs, because it may be more than that, right? But you kind of, you didn't use the word hormonal, Emma, but I read into that. Because that's the way I look at them. One big pile of hormones, right?
No, guys, I have I don't know whether this is a question or how we want to say it. I've heard this before, and I just want to know if it's something that is reality. I've heard that if somebody says that they're going to take their life and they're like struggling no matter what age, and they're out there saying, I don't care, I'm going to do this, that they say sometimes it's better that they're saying it than if they don't say anything. Because if they're not, like you said, it's silent, they're not saying anything. So you're just thinking everything's okay, yet they're moody, or they're not eating, or they're quiet, or like Dawn was saying some of the signs. But if somebody's out there saying, I hate my life, I want to do this, that's like a big deal. I mean, is that like the first time you need to say, hey, we need to get you to somebody? But then when you say that, a lot of times they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't care. It's such a hard topic. So like if your son or child said to you or to their friend, I can't do this anymore, and they threaten, yet they never, somehow they seem to get through it. What would you suggest as a teenager that went through that? Like if you heard somebody say that?
Well, I'll say that I hear it practically every day in my advocacy work. A lot of it's done on social media, and teens across the nation feel very comfortable reaching out to me. Every single time somebody says something like that, it has to be taken seriously, whether they mean it or not. And a lot of times people might feel like they don't have a place, like, oh, that's not my business, that's a you thing. No, suicide is everybody's business. If somebody is actively saying those things to you, you need to take it seriously, whether they mean it or not. Sometimes, there is a stigma that people will say things for attention. That could be true, but potentially if somebody is telling you that, it's likely that they've been thinking about this for a while, and this isn't the first time, and it could be the last time that they say something, hoping for somebody to care, hoping for somebody to give them help or resources or lead them to the place that they could get that. So back to what you're saying, I think every single time somebody says something, even if it was not as blunt as I'm thinking of taking my life, is just maybe they're saying something like my life sucks or my life's never going to get better. Well, let's take some time and let's talk about it. And let's talk about how, like I say in my book, is it's not okay right now. That doesn't mean it won't ever be okay. That just means it's not okay right now. So how can we get through it, and how can we get through it together? That's the most important part.
Yeah, see, Debbie, I see a lot of that too between spouses, where one spouse goes, they'll get over it.
Right, yeah, I hear that a lot.
Serious. And the reality is, when you look at the where people have succeeded at suicide, it's often silent and quiet and behind the scenes, and people didn't take the signs seriously. And you're right, Debbie. It's not just a blunt, I'm going to commit suicide. I don't know what the numbers are, Emma, but how many people actually say that versus, and then commit suicide versus just never, those words never actually came out of their mouth.
Yeah, typically, especially when we're dealing with teens, they're likely not going to say those exact words. It's going to look a little bit different. And speaking on my personal experience, those words never came out of my mouth. And to an even more important part is I never researched. I never had to research how. I just knew. And I think that's a really important part when we're talking about teens, is that they are inundated with this stuff, whether it's through the shows that they watch, the music that they listen to, the books that they read. It doesn't take a lot of energy for teens to think that that's an option, or to know, how to attempt that. And we want to change that. We want to get resources out there more. We want teens to recognize that that is never going to be the right option. And so, it's difficult. It's a difficult topic for a lot of people because it deals with emotions, and humans don't want to talk about emotions, but we're humans. We're not robots. We all struggle. And our teens are no different.
Yeah.
But, since we are getting toward the end, and I hate this, I want to thank Don, number one, as well. And I'm sorry that he's having technical difficulties, but you can go to the jasonfoundation.com to get more information as well. And I want to be sure we get that out there. And you can go to Reno Behavioral Hospital as well. And Emma, if to go to your website or to get your book, how would we do that? I want to make sure we get that out too.
Yeah, so you'll find more information on lifeisworthit.org. If you're interested in purchasing the book, which is part self-help, part autobiography of my story, you can either find it on lifeisworthit.org. It's also available on Amazon. And if you live in Reno and you want to purchase it in store, it is available at Grassroots Books and Sundance Bookstore.
And before we run out of time, if you could say one thing to a teen out there who's listening, what would it be?
You matter. You're always going to matter. That's not going to change. And let's figure out how to move forward from this.
Well, Emma, you.
Tears, Debbie.
I know. I am too. I have goosebumps. But I really feel that I know, but I'm speaking like right now to if you're listening to us, not just to Kim, to Emma. If you're out there, we're here for you. Like, we love you. We want you to be successful, but we know you're struggling, and it's okay to struggle, but call somebody, reach out, and go to jasonfoundation.com, go to Reno Behavioral Center, and you can reach out to Emma. And if they want to reach out to you on social media, because a lot of them are on social media, what's the easiest way for social media?
Yep, I talk to teens all day long. That's not even a joke. So on Instagram is the best way, either lifeisworthit.org or my personal Instagram, which is Emma M. White.
Okay, time is out, Emma. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. It's About Town Deb. See you next week. We love you guys. I'll be at Caliber Hair and Makeup Salon next week for Shade for the Brave. Bye, guys. Thank you.